August 11th. On the Roblox Sporting Network will be the greatest OFL day of all time. The OFL World Cup Final, traveling overseas, across the world, across the globe. People will try to win glory, and out of the battle, who will win? Tri-State or the DMV? Who will prevail? You will see on the Roblox Sporting Network on Twitch TV.
It is here, people. Today is the day. It's your boy Tylen here, and the OFL World Cup Finals are here. Are you ready for what's about to happen? Because today is the day that we've been waiting for, and we are all here to celebrate. Everything is on the line. It is a must-watch. What side will you choose? Get ready for this matchup that only comes once a year on the one and only Roblox Sporting Network.
From the moment you're first born and when we first come into the world, every person is looking at us, dreaming of what we can be and what we can become. Of course, at that moment, what we can be and become is limited only by imagination, as the wildest dreams hope that we can be the best and have that special talent, that gift. Of course, those dreams that they've had since they were kids and everyone looking at us, picture them here in this moment. For the chance to be here on center stage, for the chance to be the best. These players have trained from college to backyard to the OFL to be here at center stage in the World Cup Finals. They've overcome so many obstacles, the inevitable struggles of life to get here where no one can stop them as they dream of climbing the elusive mountain of greatness for the Old Football League's World Cup title. Climbing this elusive mountain is what has, of course, inspired them throughout their entire lives. And now they're finally here with a chance to become the best and stand at center stage in the World Cup Finals. These teams both have a dream that they've dreamed their entire lives for, and that dream both separates and brings the teams together as they have the same goal but stand in each other's way. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the OFL World Cup Finals pregame show here on Roblox Sporting Network as we take a look here at beautiful aerial coverage of some of the most famous sites from around the globe, as after all, this is the World Cup. I'm your host and caster tonight for the pregame show, as well as the game, King Olight, the CEO of Roblox Sporting Network, alongside my partners, Kiri Callie, Lucen, 777, Brown_DC, Cripsu, and Kronos. And tonight we have a star-studded night ahead of us with several other stars both in the booth and on the field.
Thanks, Kingo. It's an honor to be back at the World Cup Finals, but this time it is a bit different as it is a three-game series as opposed to the one of a one-game winner-take-all. This is really exciting, and it changes the game entirely and means that the stakes are not all decided tonight.
For sure, and let's have Brown break down the matchup.
Thanks, Bud. And of course, we have Team Tri-State versus Team DMV to break down the Tri-State era. Here is Lucian.
Appreciate that, Brown. Now let's have a look at the QB of Tri-State. He is, of course, Bagel Dot, who through this World Cup has been incredible, throwing for touchdowns galore, and of course his top wide receiver has been Week Note 1, who has caught plenty of touchdowns of his own from Bagel Dot. Now let's send it over to Kronos to break down the DMV area.
Absolutely right on that, Lucian. However, the DMV is a formidable foe for that tri-state area with quarterback Kyretra leading the charge, and of course they have a wide receiver Kelvin 5 and their center 734 has both been elite in this blocking game throughout this entire World Cup. Now to break down the defense, giving it to Kingo.
Thanks. The tri-state area gave up only 33 points per game in the World Cup versus the DMV, who gave up 43 points per game, so the advantage definitely goes to the tri-state area on the defensive side of the ball. However, of course, games are not won on paper, but on the field and by the players. And I had a chance to catch up and sit down with Bagel Dot of the tri-state area to see what he had to say about tonight's matchup. When I sat down with Bagel Dot, he was actually more concerned about the defensive game plan than that of the offensive game plan, which might explain why they've been so great defensively throughout this whole World Cup. What he said was, of course, you have to cover them very well, and if you don't cover them, then of course, they're going to beat you. However, if you do cover them great with man coverage, they can absolutely then get the pressure that's needed, as the coverage is the key to pressuring them.
For sure, and of course, he sounds rather confident that his team will come out with World Cup glory. Now, Kingo, I believe you also sat down with Kyretra.
Thanks. So when I sat down with Kyretra, here's what he had to say. He said that, of course, his team, he felt rather confident that they could get the win here today, and he felt that they were the better team on paper, and that they were going to be so tough to stop. He also felt as if the key to winning the game was to not turn the ball over, and that points will come with that. Points will come with not turning the ball over, and that's the key offensively to beating this insane defense of the tri-state area.
Nice words from Kyretra right there. And of course, the media met with both coaches during the week in build-up to the game.
When I sat down with Rila, he said that his team yet again has what it takes to beat the DMV. After pulling the upset the last World Cup, he said that they do not fear what most teams fear in the DMV, and that is, of course, the elite play from so many Hall of Fame players and at pretty much every position on the field. He said he does not fear that, and that they will be able to upset them again. Well, when I sat down with War Eagle, when asked if he was nervous or excited, he said, "I'm not nervous at all. Granted, this is where the DMV has stood before, and where we belong." He said it's exciting to play in the first 3-game series of Row football ever, and looks forward to trying to put World Cup glory back in the hands of the DMV. I then followed up by asking him, "How do you think you can come out with World Cup glory?" And he said, of course, "We just need to do what we've been doing all along. Last World Cup we lost to the Tri-State, not realizing it was an elimination game until there were 2 minutes left. So we can't let that attitude get us." Alright, now back to you. And before we break, let's get some predictions from the analysts up here in the booth.
Now, for my predictions, I think Game 1, I think that Team DMV will absolutely get the win here. But I think that Game 2, though, it's going to be a different setting. I personally think that Tri-State will go ahead and will have enough adrenaline to go ahead and equalize up the series. Putting my prediction at Game 3, and with that one, I would personally think that DMV could go ahead and win it all, taking the series 2-1.
Short prediction here, but my opinion is that Tri-State will win. I've never been to a World Cup. Okay, enjoy the stream. Bye.
Football. The most beautiful game on the planet. The world's game. So beautiful, it has created images that last and have endured for generations. A religion of sorts has been included around this game, and that brings us here today, to the biggest stage, the grandest stage, a football mecca of sorts. These players have made the pilgrimage here to play in the World Cup finals. And today, we see 2 teams have made that pilgrimage here to the big game. The tri-state area and the DMV are here to show off the beauty of this game. The history of the sport is rich, and players have dreamed of the opportunity to be right here in the center of the sports world. Sports are what can unify us all in times where we are more divided than ever. So today, sit back and enjoy the World Cup finals between the two teams that dream of being the best at the game they love. Watch them create images that will last generations. This is the World Cup finals only on Roblox Sporting Network.
How about these DMV boys? As tough as the nation's capital, these guys will absolutely light you up on the scoreboard and bruise you up on the defensive side of the ball. These are the DMV, and they've come for a world championship here in the World Cup. Here comes the DMV at quarterback, Retro. At wide receiver, War Eagle. At wide receiver, Calvin. At wide receiver, Ferris Bueller. At center, 743, Thomas. At wide receiver, at tight end, wide receiver with Raw. How about these boys from the tri-state area? Of course, with an offense that can light up the score like a pinball machine, with a quarterback who's efficient, doesn't turn it over, and of course makes everything happen, and wide receivers that can come down with anything, and a defense that will shut you down. Here comes the tri-state area. At quarterback, Bagel. At center, Sam Capella. At tight end, Weekno. At wide receiver, Patrick. At wide receiver, Burning Roman. Our wide receiver, Cooking Ramen. At defensive end, BBLA.
For the past 2 weeks, you've been reading about a bad break I got. Yet today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. I've been in ballparks for 17 years and have never received When you look around, wouldn't you consider it a privilege to associate yourself with such a fine-looking group of men that is standing in uniform in this ballpark today, when you have a father and a mother who work all their lives so you can have an education and build your body? It's a blessing. But I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for.
Let's go!
Oh my god, that's empty.
What is that? I feel
Like, so hard right now, like.
Yeah, he
Gone.
better be on contact.
Oh! Red flags! I did it! Let's go! That's the walk on!
Oh my god!
Wowzy!
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
What a way to end game 3!
Oh my god!
What a way to end
Oh my god! That's
Fun.